Do you know what song this is?
Sounds like a Beatles song.
It's not a Beatles song. This is this is Thanksgiving week, Madison. Did you know it's Thanksgiving
Charlie
week?
Brown?
Did you know this is Thanksgiving week?
I did.
This is like the traditional Thanksgiving song that my generation grew up on.
What is it, Charlie Brown?
Listen, here we go. We'll probably get fined some kind of fee for this, but what the hell? It's Thanksgiving week.
Hopefully they're feeling jolly. Don't want to steal. This is lovely.
That's Mr. Arlo Guthrie. It's 18 minutes and 32 seconds long song, and it's
on
about
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, this always comes on the classic rock stations. Are they called the oldies but goldies now? This is such a subdued intro. We've never had such a subdued intro before.
Oldies but goldies.
Is that what they're called now?
I don't know. I don't really listen to the radio anymore.
Does anybody listen to radio?
Hello? Is there anyone out there?
Well, look,
let us know.
Madison, I'm gonna just go get this shit started. Then okay, let's do this.
All right. Here we go.
There we go. Now we know what time it is.
I was waiting for. In the beginning, I was
Here we go. Ready? Go. There's the drums. And this is you?
No.
Okay, we are back for another episode. This is so exciting. I'm going out of my mind.
Woo!
Like Josh Pitts. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Laugh, Let and Eat Madness.
With madness.
Oh, yeah, with madness.
We changed it. We don't want to eat madness.
No more. It's Thanksgiving week. You never know. Who knows?
You never know.
Never know. So, madness. This is Thanksgiving week, as we've now identified a couple of times over and over again.
Yes.
I think we're almost 2-3 minutes into the recording, and we're still talking about this Thanksgiving week.
It's okay. It's Laugh, Let and Eat.
I gotta ask. I mean, do you guys do anything special for Thanksgiving?
So every year we go to my house for Thanksgiving, or my parents' house.
Who's we?
I am the oldest of 5 siblings.
Oh my goodness!
So there's 5.
There's younger Madnesses.
There are younger Madnesses. They learn from the best.
There's Mad Max, right?
There's Mad Max.
Right.
We got Riley. Riley's Mad Max's twin.
Got it.
Tony Ann, she's probably the most level-headed of the crew. Cool. She's the one that's like, getting married, bought the house.
Gotta have a level-headed one.
Stable job. And then my brother Joey, who lives in New York City.
Is Joey level-headed?
Joey's a nutcase, but we love him. Joey's like me. Joey is like Madness 2.0.
So overall, they got one kid to keep everybody in line, keep everybody else in line. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, they used to call me Bossy Betty when I was younger. That was
Bossy Betty,
family nickname. Yeah.
Is this when you were in charge of the ice cream stand on the baseballs team? Whatever you told me one time.
No. When I used to do my little snack stand duties, I was. And I have 3 others. So I have 3 cousins, and they all fill in the gaps. So we're all a year.
Enough of that. But let's get back to Thanksgiving dinner. Cause enough. I don't even know the.
You just asked who was coming. I'm telling you that I have 8 cousins and siblings, and we're all a year apart.
Okay, but what do you guys do on Thanksgiving night? Like, do you guys eat in the daytime? Do you eat at night? Do you do it all throughout the day?
Start with brunch. So we'll do drinks, appetizers, all that fun stuff. And then we do dinner around 3-4-ish. And we always call it the rotating doors. Everyone comes to our house for Thanksgiving. We have a very big mosh pit of people. Nice. So it's friends and my parents' friends. Yeah.
That's Alice's restaurant.
Yeah. So
you can order whatever you want in Alice's restaurant.
Exactly. There's a lot of this.
That's what Mr. Arlo Guthrie was telling us.
Okay.
So we can call this Madness's restaurant.
Yeah, Madness's restaurant.
The 2000.
What about you? I know you have to hang out with one of the brothers that thinks the Federal Reserve.
Actually, you know what? Unfortunately we won't be together that night.
Oh, man.
Yes, but him and I talk almost a couple of times a week, so I get to hear the chatter about the Federal Reserve being a satanic organization. But so we're going to my cousin's house this week, and she's going to have about, I think, 40, 50 people in her house.
Amazing. Where we're at? What
So
state are we in?
it's in Vienna, Virginia, so it's not that far from us, but they just had a new house built, so I think they want to have everyone come by and check it out. So,
Ooh,
but it's
nice.
nice. The timing worked out well for me because they're going to do a 3 o'clock afternoon thing.
Okay,
And
that's nice.
that's
Yeah,
perfect.
right. I don't like when it's too late, and
No.
then you're like, what are we doing all day? You know. So we kind of have people over early too.
And then is AnyMac closed on Friday, or are you guys open?
We have so the lock. I think it's like a half day. I know you can like lock for half a day, but I doubt people like go to the office. But I feel like I'm never not working.
Right.
You
So
know,
speaking
I
of
was at
that,
a bridal shower and I was literally texting someone at a bridal shower this weekend, and they were like, "What are you?" And I was like, "I was just asking how the open house was going."
so speaking of locking in rates,
Yes,
it seems to me that inflation has peaked.
that the big I word.
In the skies peaked, right?
Mhm.
And it seems to me that rates have kind of dissipated and not come back to, whatever, but less than they were, say, 30 days ago or 2 weeks ago, even.
Yeah. I think it's when you say like the rates, I think something that a lot of people aren't understanding right now, and this isn't like you not understanding it, just for the general public. Um, rates came down slightly, but it's more so the cost of the rate, right? So I had a client who, when I initially locked them on a loan estimate, I was able. What was that?
I don't know. It came from somewhere. That was weird. I know.
But let's just say like I could give her 7.5 for X amount of dollars. Then a week later, it was like, okay, you could get a 7.25 for that same price that they were going to charge you on the 7.5. So yes, rates slightly came down, but I think more so the thing that we're waiting for is like when a 0 point rate has no cost behind it, right? There's still points being charged behind a 0 point loan.
So what you're saying is you can't go above 100,
Right.
right? So a borrower still has to pay money no matter what the rate is.
Yes. So it's helpful that you're not seeing, the cost of everything going up and the rates going up. It's refreshing, but we still have to remember that we have December to
Yeah.
get there.
Well, there's a reason that you're not seeing what's called premium pricing in the mortgage industry. You understand that, right?
Yes, I do.
It's because the bond traders don't want to give it to you guys.
Well, that's what I was going to say too. I had a lot of clients texting me, asking like, is it true? Oh, and it's like, we're not all dropping our pants the second, it's like, how quickly are things going to happen? Yes, maybe you saw like a slight better pricing chart last week than you had in the last few weeks, but it's going to be gradual, just like this whole rate hike was a gradual thing over the year. So
What I've learned in 28 years, almost 29 now, is that rates go up really rapidly, but they
and
come back
really
down
quick.
very slowly.
And I think that that's what, a lot of people, I just think it was like one of those things where it was like, okay, given all the bad news and given all like, the kind of heaviness of the world and the things that have been happening, it was nice. It was a refresh. It was that like silver lining that a lot of people needed last week to just kind of give hope to clients and kind of give hope to realtors and lenders that, hang in there. Things are changing rapidly one way or the other, but there is hope that they could change for the better.
Yeah. The good news is, look, I mean, we are at the end of the year. I wanted to record a Thanksgiving episode. So let's not talk about rates and all this
Yeah,
negative shit. You know what I mean? Let's talk
agreed.
about some positive shit.
Agreed.
Now, do you guys do any kind of what are you thankful for, Madison, this year at your dinner table?
So we actually, those giant like scrolls of paper, like you could put them out like literally on the floor. We do that over our tablecloth. So
Mhm.
we put like markers and stuff all over the table. So people write like, what they're thankful for all
Oh,
over it. And like
that's
when we
cool.
have the kids and stuff, like they can use that to just kind of color and keep themselves distracted. And then we'll roll it up. And I think I mean, I don't know. We just had a garage sale and cleaned out a lot of stuff, so I don't know if my parents saved it, but we did have a couple of scrolls from throughout the years with all the writing and doodling and drawings and stuff that were on the table.
My family just starts eating.
You know what? We always say like we always think like as cousins we're like, oh, like the holidays are gonna get so much more fun like as we get older, and then it's just like everyone's lame. Like we have 4 girls, 4 boys, and like the boys all go downstairs and watch football, and like they don't talk to anyone, and then the girls are upstairs like gossip, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Although I will say, when my brother was with us last year, the paranoid one, he actually did a very nice prayer, and it was very nice because it got everybody in the mood. So
Yeah.
there is
This
something
is gonna be tough. This is the first Thanksgiving we're not having with my grandma. It
Oh,
was like the rock of the crew. So I'm like
Rosie, right? Rosie? You call her Rosie girl.
Rosie girl,
Yeah.
my Rosie. So it's like we keep let's not get into it. It's too morbid. But yeah, we've been losing a few family members every year throughout the holidays. And it's a little like maybe we should get some new traditions, guys, because this shit's a little depressing.
I mean, the thing is I guess that's part of life, though, right? I mean,
Totally.
otherwise our tables would be too full if no one passed on.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have anywhere to sit, Madison. Where would
I
we
know.
sit? You'd have to
Right.
stand.
I would gladly give up a chair to have one more Thanksgiving with Rosie.
All right, enough. That's hard.
I know. We don't want to depress the audience.
No, it's very cool because this is like, I think Thanksgiving, we do forget some things about Thanksgiving. And I think you just reminded me of all the people that we've had the years that we spent Thanksgiving with people.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I think that gets overlooked. It's
Yeah.
interesting. We're so busy thanking and being, or at least acting grateful. I don't want to say
Yeah.
grateful. At least we're acting grateful, but we do. I think this might be a new tradition. I think you just started inside of me, at least, that I think I'm going to start remembering the people on my Thanksgiving week, because there are a lot of people that come and go in life. And it was really weird, I don't know where we're going down this road, but recently it just dawned on me, like, if you live long and you eat right and you exercise and you have this long, healthy life, whatever the universe, God, higher power, whatever you want to call it, the reward that I am going to get is I get to go to all of my friends and family members' funerals.
Yeah. I was not expecting that to be like the lesson, but yeah. No, I know. It's true.
That's the reward. Hey, Fob, guess what? You get to bury everybody.
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy's got a sick sense of humor. If it's a guy, maybe it's a woman. It could be a woman, by the way.
I know. Well, I was literally, I mean, I always think about it too. I feel bad for my brother and sister because they're like the youngest ones. And I'm like, at least I'm the oldest one. Like, hopefully I go first and I don't got to do the whole sibling stuff.
Well, I'm the youngest of 6.
Oh,
so
you're like my siblings. Yeah, if everything goes in chronological order, then.
Right. I'll be like, by the 5th one, I'll be like, okay, enough already. Move on.
All right, shit.
What are we eating?
Yeah, you gotta. So wait, have you ever heard of this thing? This is something that I learned recently. If we're on the topic of food, have you ever heard of funeral potatoes?
No.
Okay, so I was at the Vision retreat when we were out in New Hampshire, and we had Ashley and Melissa, and Ashley's from Utah and Melissa's from Idaho.
Okay.
And these girls the entire weekend they're like talking about their, normal, like, okay, we're New Jersey's like pizza, bagels, whatever.
Right.
And they're like, oh, ours is funeral potatoes. And we're like, what? And you have to look it up, but basically it's like you put like, it's like a casserole and it's like potatoes with cheese and all this shit. And it's like a comfort food. And whenever someone dies, people get pissed off if you don't have funeral potatoes at the repast afterwards.
How is that a thing? I mean, what is that? I mean, what kind of would you call a meal funeral potatoes?
It's like, like a baked mac and cheese. It's like their comfort.
But why would you call a food like
funeral potato? But that's what we were saying. We were like, what? But you have to look it up. Anyone who's listening, look it up. It's actually a real thing.
So we gotta find out. Do they have funeral French fries?
Maybe. I should ask them.
I mean, that's what I'm like. My head is going into all the things funeral, hash browns.
I just think, like, why don't you call it, like, comfort potatoes or like
It's kind
Like,
of I don't know if I could eat funeral potatoes. The whole thing just.
right? But they're like they swear by them, and I
Did you ever
was.
watch The Sopranos? Were you too young when The Sopranos came out?
I mean, I was too young when it came out, but I have watched it in my
There,
older years.
there was an episode. I wish JP could come on board. I know his camera's not working, but there was a series of episodes where Uncle Junior was going to all these funerals because he was on house arrest. And so he would go to all these people's he would just open up the newspaper and find out who passed away.
Yeah,
And have
that's
his
how.
yeah, and he didn't even know who they were.
Oh
He
my
just go to
god.
people's funerals and see what's good to eat.
It's like wedding cry. It's like the Wedding Crashers, but you're just going to funerals to get out of house arrest.
Yeah, so let's get back to Thanksgiving. I think Thanksgiving is a much nicer thing to talk about than what this
Funeral
over.
potatoes and whatever the hell depressing shit we just
So,
talked about for the last 5 minutes.
listen, gratitude is a very overused word. Can we agree on that?
I agree.
And this hashtag gratitude, hashtag grateful, whatever. I mean, I'm a cynic, so
Bless.
right, bless, whatever. But I mean, traditionally they call November the month of gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just want to know, like, I mean, are we all feeling grateful today or this year? Or is it like, are we thinking, gosh, I wish the rates were lowered, I had more business again?
I mean, you're always gonna wish and pray for business. So this is something, and I don't know if I've said it on this podcast or just talking with people, but I believe that for the last 2 years, as good as everyone did, there was that wasn't like a long-term thing that we could maintain forever. Like I think when we had the mindfulness episode with Kim Clancy, and she was talking about, how she was working 18-hour days and we were working weekends and nights and mornings, and it was just craziness. And I remember last year, like, kind of wishing and hoping for a break or like a rest or just time to kind of not feel like you're spinning on the hamster wheel and going 1,000 mile a minute and you don't have any time to reflect and like kind of look at what you're doing and like what are you are you just acting and acting and doing and doing and doing, and like what's the product of that? So for me, I do feel grateful that we are in a slower market right now. I know for us where it's cold where we are right now, and it's the winter months and the holiday months and kids are coming home from college and winter breaks for K through 12, like there wasn't a lot of business to maybe have right now to begin with where we are because of just like the nature of the months and all that stuff and nature in general. But I'm okay with like this stillness and this like slower market. It gives me the time to rest and reset and look at my relationships with certain people, whether it's clients or realtors, and just kind of say, okay, are these people helping me? Are they hurting me? Are they serving me? It just gives you a time to really reflect and readjust.
So
I don't know.
do you do like daily gratitude?
I, with my mindful and my yoga background, I used to be better. Like I used to have an actual journal where I would do like, it's like, 3 things that you're grateful for or whatever. I don't know if I do it every day, but I do find myself constantly keeping this mindset of like, be happy that you have business, be happy that you have something, you have a job, you are able to afford the groceries. Like, don't focus on like, oh my God, the groceries are so expensive, or, oh my God, business is so slow right now. It's like, you
So
gotta.
I'm gonna share my secret with you.
Yeah.
Right? I want to pass this on. Anybody listening also, but this is the way you get instant gratitude. Okay? If you want instant gratitude in your life, and I guarantee you I've done this at the worst moments of my life, and I was able to get grateful. And you simply say, instead of I got to,
I
I
get to.
get to.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that. So when I'm at the grocery store and I see that the prices are higher, I still get to go buy them at the grocery store. I still get to go pay for them.
I
And I
still
know it
get
just
to go into my car
right.
and then drive home to my home to put the groceries in my refrigerator. Like,
Yeah,
those
these are all
little
things
things.
that we get to do,
Yeah.
but there are countless people on this planet. You know, and you know me, and you know I can get good go off those numbers. I don't want to go down that road, right?
Yeah, no, yeah. It's already been depressing enough.
But I mean, it's amazing that we live in such abundance. And here's the thing that people really, 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 I think we need to focus on this. And I'm so glad we just kind of opened up this can of worms. Is gratitude actually creates an attitude of abundance,
Yeah,
and the two are so connected that the more grateful you get, the more you have, and you
yeah.
have the perception of having more. And it goes the opposite way, by the way. So people who feel like they don't have enough never have enough, no matter
Never
how much they
enough.
have.
They're never
Yeah,
happy. They're never content.
yeah,
They're
and
always searching for happiness and things or
yeah.
the next best whatever.
In Buddhism, they call that the hungry ghost.
Yeah.
So they have these hungry ghosts in Buddhism, and they got these big, big bellies and these very skinny little throats and very little mouths, and they're never full. And that was what they kind of like conceptualized. But so they're never full, so they're never satisfied. But being grateful, I just think that the more I don't know if I get older or whatever that is, but I just feel more and more gratitude towards everything that I have, and I feel like it's all connected now. It's like it's not just, oh, I'm grateful, so I'm gonna write my gratitude list. It's like I write my gratitude in my mind, and then I want to use that energy that I create, and I want to set my intention for the day, because now I've created all this positive energy. And I know I've shared this before, so it's nothing new
Yeah.
I'm sharing. But it's like you create this positive energy when you feel.
Ripple effects, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
use it for your day. Use it to share with other people. Use it for your daily intention. Use it so that you have a abundance mindset and that you don't mind giving, because
No.
ultimately gratitude to abundance and to giving, and then you have this amazing life that no one can ever rattle you, no matter what happens.
That's exactly how I feel right now. When you talk to people and they're like, "Oh, like how's business?" Or I have, people that are not in the industry that are like, "Oh my God, I think of you every time I, turn on the turn on the news or whatever." And my whole thing has just been like, I have created this life and I've created this career for myself where I feel like like, speaking of like this podcast, right? We don't know if this may or may not be our last episode. I think we're going to try and get one more in there. But just like all the other things that I have outside of writing loans, like if all my business was just focused on, damn, I didn't write a loan today, or like I didn't take an
Yeah.
application today. And if that was the only way that I measured success or doing well in my business, then I wouldn't be that far. But I just think the fact that I have the ability to come and sit with you on a Monday afternoon, and when I get off of here, I'm going to go meet up with a realtor because we're putting an event together in December that's we're raising money, and we're also getting a lot of donations for 2 women's shelters in our local area. We
Yeah.
just did Potapalooza last week. Friday, I just went with my coworkers. We had our own food drive in our off. Like there's so many things that like I'm doing that don't revolve around a transaction. So that's where my mindset's just been
Yeah.
lately. I could wake up every morning and be upset about the rates or upset about my low pipeline. But that's not going to really get
No.
me far.
And speaking of Potapalooza, by the way, just FYI, we raised $10,364 for So Others Might Eat, which
Love that.
I mean, we doubled the number from last year, right?
Yeah.
So to me, that's just amazing that we were able. I didn't see that number coming. John
No.
was pushing for it. I think when it happened, we almost like fell out of our chairs.
I'm
So it
so
was,
happy.
yeah, it was like such an amazing moment to be part of that. And once again, being in the moment, being thankful, you know what I mean, creating the energy for it. I think if we all focus more on that in this week of giving, giving thanks, right? I think we'll all be better for it. You know what I mean? We'll all be better in the long run, because the more we can give thanks, the more we become a better human being at the end of the day. And I think that's what ultimately Thanksgiving was about. I don't know. I mean, I hope that's what the Pilgrims did when they were inviting the poor Indians over to feed them or whatever they did. I
Yeah,
don't
no.
know.
I heard something recently, and this has been something that I've been kind of taking with me a lot. So think about a football game. There's 4 quarters in a football. And I'm like horrible. Like, don't ask me much more beyond that with football. But it says to think about your day in 4 quarters. And so
Whoa.
sometimes we wake up and you don't have a good morning. But are you going to let, the next 3/4 of your day, so if you have your morning, your early afternoon, and your evening, like, are you going to let that first quarter ruin the next 3/4 of how you play your day or how you play the game? So I've been kind of taking that with me a lot, whether it's, like I said, I'm like really kind of reassessing my time management and making the time to do certain things that maybe I didn't have the time to do a few months ago. So my whole thing with even like working out or eating right or making phone calls and cold calls is, okay, if you didn't do it in the first quarter, you still got 3/4 left. If you didn't do it in the first 2 quarters, you still have 2 left. And that's been really helping me in terms of just kind of gauging what's important and kind of reassessing, like, it doesn't have to be a bad day just because you had a bad morning or a bad blip in your day, somewhere in between.
I think that was awesome. I think we're gonna play one more Thanksgiving song. I have it queued up here, Maddie. I hope you
All right,
can
let's
recognize
go.
this one. Let's see if you can recognize this one. I don't know. We'll find out. Ready? You recognize this one? Man? Thank you song.
I feel like I know this song, but don't ask me who sings it.
This is the thank you for always being here, Maddie, when I asked you to come on board.
You're
You and
welcome,
Maddie have
Tom.
been here all year for me, and I always appreciate you.
I know. I appreciate you guys too. I told
This
you in
this was our thank you for listening to our show this past year. We've appreciated everything you guys have done for us. And I love this song. I actually went through and found all these songs that people play on Thanksgiving.
I like this.
I had no idea. I always thought like to play like some other like acoustic type songs or something. I don't know, man, but this was
No,
nice.
you got your content.
I'm doing it, man. So anyway, guys, Maddie, happy Thanksgiving to you and
Happy
the
Thanksgiving.
Madness bunch. And, let's get out of here and so we can go eat something. But by the way, there's a new ending that I did just for the Thanksgiving episode.
Did you?
So for all you guys that are listening to the show, please go to YouTube, go to the Laugh Learn and Eat channel, subscribe. It'd be nice to give a little to us right now and then. Subscribe to the channel. But check out this new ending that we just did for the show because I think Maddie, this represents us really well. So let's see how you like it.